How much is this? I don't think this would fit you.
Well, I didn't ask if it would fit. I asked how much it was.
How much is this, Marie?
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
Remember when a romantic comedy could revolve around a sex worker, a corporate raider, and a sleazy lawyer, and somehow still be sold as the perfect date movie? That was Pretty Woman. Starring Julia Roberts as Vivian, bold, unpredictable, impossible to ignore, and Richard Gere as Edward, the billionaire who treats emotions like a business risk. Add Jason Alexander as the walking red flag, and you've got a story that somehow turns a business deal into a modern fairy tale. But here's the twist, it was never meant to be one. What started as a dark, uncomfortable drama was reshaped into one of the most iconic romantic comedies of all time. Today, we're diving into 15 weird and fascinating facts about Pretty Woman, the behind-the-scenes stories that completely change how you see the film. Number 15 Weird Facts About Pretty Woman, Extended, 15. Rodeo Drive snobbery was real. Julia Roberts. That famous shopping humiliation scene feels brutally real, because it kind of was. When production tried to film on actual Rodeo Drive, several luxury boutiques refused to cooperate. They didn't want their brand associated with a story about a sex worker, even in a softened, romantic version. The result? The filmmakers recreated the experience using willing stores, but leaned heavily into the real attitude they encountered. That cold, dismissive tone from the sales staff wasn't exaggerated, it was inspired directly by real interactions. Ironically, after the movie became a hit, those same streets turned into a tourist attraction, with fans recreating Vivian's big mistake moment. Number 14. The original ending got scrapped. Richard Gere. Originally, the film didn't have a romantic payoff at all. Edward pays Vivian, they go their separate ways, and the story just ends. No grand gesture. No emotional closure. No fairy tale. Test audiences absolutely rejected it. After spending the entire movie watching these characters slowly connect, viewers expected something meaningful, not a cold goodbye. So the studio brought everyone back, built the iconic fire escape scene, and reshaped the ending into something hopeful and cinematic. That last-minute change is a huge reason the movie became unforgettable. Number 13. Julia Roberts wasn't the first choice. It's impossible to imagine anyone else as Vivian now, but Julia Roberts wasn't the first pick. Several major actresses turned the role down, including Molly Ringwald, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Meg Ryan. Daryl Hannah even criticized the script for how it portrayed women. At that stage, the film was still much darker and less charming. Once the tone shifted toward humor and romance, Roberts became the perfect fit, bringing warmth, humor, and unpredictability that redefined the character completely. Number 12. Richard Gere almost quit acting. Before this film, Richard Gere was at a crossroads in his career. His recent projects hadn't made much impact, and he was questioning whether to continue acting at all. What drew him in wasn't the romance, it was Edward's emotional journey. A man who starts off completely closed off and slowly learns how to connect. That complexity convinced him to take the role, and it paid off. The film became a massive success and re-established him as a leading man. Number 11. Stucky was originally even darker. Jason Alexander already makes Stucky uncomfortable to watch, but the original version of the character was far worse. In earlier drafts, he was more aggressive, more predatory, and pushed the story into much darker territory. His behavior wasn't just sleazy, it was disturbing. As the movie shifted toward a romantic tone, the character had to be toned down. He remained the villain, but not so extreme that he would completely break the film's lighter atmosphere. Number 10. The opera scene mirrors the entire story. The opera scene isn't just about showing wealth or culture, it's symbolic. The performance Vivian watches reflects her own situation, a woman entering a world she was never meant to belong to, navigating unfamiliar rules and expectations. Her emotional reaction shows how deeply she connects with it, while Edward watches her instead of the stage, signaling his growing attachment. It's a subtle moment where the film fully embraces its fairy tale identity. Number 9. The red dress and jewelry scene were almost completely different. The iconic red dress could have looked very different. Early costume ideas used softer tones that made Vivian appear more delicate and less commanding. Choosing bold red changed everything, it made her presence undeniable. Then there's the jewelry scene. It was supposed to be a standard romantic moment, until Richard Gere snapped the box shut unexpectedly. Julia Roberts' reaction was completely genuine, and it became one of the most memorable moments in the entire film. Number 8. That famous laugh wasn't acting. That uncontrollable laugh while watching TV feels natural, because it wasn't planned. Director Gary Marshall tickled Julia Roberts' feet off camera to get a real reaction. Instead of a staged performance, the scene captured genuine, uncontrollable laughter. It's chaotic, slightly ridiculous, and it works perfectly. Number 7. The hotel manager became a key character. Hector Elizondo's character wasn't originally written as such a warm presence. He could have easily been another obstacle, someone enforcing rules and pushing Vivian out. Instead, his performance added kindness and quiet support. He becomes the one person who treats her with respect from the beginning, guiding her through unfamiliar situations without judgment. That shift adds emotional balance to the story. Number 6. The song got a second life. Roy Orbison's "Oh, Pretty Woman" was already a classic, but the film gave it a whole new identity. It transformed from a simple song about admiration into an anthem tied directly to Vivian's journey. After the film's success, the track surged in popularity again and became permanently linked to the movie. Number 5. The poster isn't what it looks like. That famous poster? It's more illusion than reality. Julia Roberts' body was replaced with a double, and Richard Gere's hair was edited to appear darker than it actually is in the film. So the image that sold the movie worldwide isn't exactly what audiences saw on screen. Number 4. Kit adds reality to the fantasy. Laura San Giacomo had limited screen time, but her character plays a crucial role. Kit represents the life Vivian is trying to escape, grounded, messy, and far from glamorous. While the film leans into fantasy, Kit keeps reminding you of the reality behind it. That contrast makes Vivian's journey feel more meaningful. Number 3. The movie created a superstar. After this film, Julia Roberts became one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. She wasn't just part of the movie, she was the reason people watched it. Studios quickly realized her appeal and began building projects around her. This role didn't just boost her career, it defined an entire era of romantic comedies. Number 2. The chemistry led to another hit. The chemistry between Roberts and Gere became one of the film's biggest strengths. Audiences loved it so much that it led to their reunion in Runaway Bride. Even with mixed reviews, the pairing alone was enough to draw huge audiences. Number 1. It started as a dark drama called 3000. Originally titled 3000, the script was completely different. Written by J.F. Lawton, it told a harsh story about survival in Los Angeles, with no romance and no happy ending. Vivian was struggling with addiction. Edward was cold and detached. And the story ended with her being abandoned on the street. Then the Walt Disney Company stepped in and reshaped everything, removing the darker elements, softening the characters, and turning it into a modern fairy tale. That transformation changed everything. And that's what makes Pretty Woman so fascinating. Behind the charm, the romance, and the iconic scenes, there's a completely different movie that almost existed, darker, harsher, and far less magical. But the version we got, that's the one people still rewatch decades later. So, which fact surprised you the most? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.